Everybody get locked and loaded, ready to go. Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly news conference sponsored by Georgia Power. Of course, most of you were here Saturday night when the Bears won the exciting Southern Conference game over Wofford 22-21. Defense did an outstanding job, allowing Wofford only 8 first downs. They were 2 of 12 on third downs, and the Bears controlled the ball more than 17 minutes. But, don't ever forget the kicking game. John McConnell had 4 punts for 55.2 yards average, a long of 60, and 3 that were down inside the 20. And Reese Griffith connected on 3 field goals. 1 was a personal career high of 44 yards. So Coach will be talking about that game and looking ahead to this week when we go to Charleston to play the Citadel. Kickoffs at 2 p.m. at Johnson-Haygood Stadium. The overall series, Mercer has 10 wins, the Citadel 11, 1 tie. Mercer won last year's game here in Macon by 38-21. After Coach, we'll have 2 players with us, running back Micah Bell and defensive lineman Caden Camise. With that, Coach Jacobs.
Good afternoon. Appreciate everybody joining us today, and good to see everyone. Certainly really pleased with the outcome from Saturday. I thought, a lot of the things that we talked about last week that our team needed to do to play better and to earn the right to win, we accomplished in practice. And then throughout the course of the game, if you just look at the stat line, really pretty dominant on both sides of the ball, or really in all 3 phases. I think just most proud, kind of hitting each way. On offense, we talked about us being out of rhythm and just a bit out of sync, which was causing the defense to be more on the field more going into last game. But we come out and obviously made a change at quarterback, started freshman Braden Atkinson, and I thought he played extremely well, with the exception of a couple of those picks. But, he connected, I think, on his first 9 passes. He had 8 passes that were over 15 yards, and that opens up things in the run game. I think our offensive line, who I had been challenging quite a bit, did a much better job in the run game. We did a great job keeping him clean. I think he really only got hit once or twice in the game, so I was pleased from that standpoint. Things that we have to do better, obviously ball security. Anytime you turn the ball over 4 times, it's a massive issue, which is why the score, with the stats skewed the way they were, the score was closer than the stats may have indicated. And, we can't turn the ball over 4 times, so we'll work a ton on our ball security. Not that we haven't been, but we'll reemphasize all those things. And then really just our red zone stuff, especially inside the 5-yard line. We that's a demeanor. So I take that stuff personally as an offensive line guy. When we're on the 1-inch line twice, we need touchdowns. And that's how you put teams away. That's how really competitive teams, that's how great teams play. And we have to have that advantage. And it's a demeanor, it's a toughness, it's an execution issue. You need to do those things best when you're in those critical moments. And so we'll get those things cleaned up, but in general, we played significantly better on offense. I thought our wide receiver room did a really good job catching the football, making plays after the catch, as well as blocking. So just all in all, pretty pleased with what we did offensively. As far as the defense goes, again, I think we held them to, 50-some yards rushing, if that, and kind of forced them to be one-dimensional. And again, held them to only 8 first downs. They were 2 of 14 when you add up the 3rd and 4th down attempts. And so that's like 14%, which, if you can keep teams to that, you got a really good chance of winning each week. And so just really proud of the way we played. I'm proud of there were some really big moments in that game. We talked all week about every player has a 1/11th to do, and you don't know when your 1/11th is going to be the game breaker. And you saw it, so you have to play every play as if it is that way. And you saw it with Tommy Bliss, and it's not just Tommy Bliss on his long track and then the strip at the goal line. You saw it because there's 2 or 3 more guys running behind him where Wofford wasn't able to recover the ball in the end zone. And so those effort plays, you never know when your effort and your execution is going to be the game breaker. You saw it with Drew Clare on a critical 4th down stop late in the game in 4th quarter. He and Caleb Hutchinson were in there and got us the ball back. You saw it with Andrew Zock on a 4th down must-have, or All-Americans showed up and got us a sack. And then you saw it with C.J. Miller with a fantastic throw and catch there to put the game away. And so really, I'm proud of our kids because they fought, they played hard, they did a lot of what we asked. They didn't listen to the outside noise, and they just worked on the things that they could execute. A couple of the big plays defensively that we gave up, the one we just tripped on, and sometimes that happens in football. You'd like to still keep it in front of you. The other one, they ran a nice route, and we'll work on the technical things that led to him beating us there. But, all in all, we did some really good things in this game, and we did the things necessary to come out with a win in a game against, I think Wofford's a solid team. I know their record doesn't indicate that necessarily, but I think they're pretty darn good on defense, as a top 25 defense coming in here. And for us, with a first-time starter to go out and put up, 460, almost 470 yards offense, I thought that was well-versed. And so really happy with our performance. Again, the turnovers, the red zone, a couple of the big plays are the things we got to take away and get better at this week, going into a really good Citadel team. And, again, I think, you've seen them. They opened the season against a really tough North Dakota State team who obviously we saw last year. But Coach Drayton does a tremendous job. I know they're going to be well coached. I know they're going to play extremely hard. His background's in special teams. I think they're an elite special teams team. You see them with a game-breaking play almost weekly in some facet of the specials, and then they present some challenges with what they do offensively. So, we're anticipating a really good team. We're at the point where we are as a team where, listen, again, with a bunch of young guys, we're probably going to be in dogfights every week, and which is why we're going to continue to harp on the process over the end game and instead of the final product. And I think if we work on the things, the habits that you need to do to win, you'll see to be competitive in every game and give ourselves a chance to be winners each week. And so we're excited about the opportunity. We're excited to get back to work. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Coach, I know last week you talked about a lot of guys being at the math 100 level as a metaphor, putting them in a situation like Saturday's game, which was close, fighting to the end. How do you think those younger guys grew into that, that role that they're supposed to be in?
Yeah, I think the game-like reps throughout the 2 weeks leading into the prep because of the bye week. And then, winning's not just exclusive to the people on the field. Our energy wasn't where it needed to be on the sideline. We dress all eligible players out on home games. I think that's really important as a head coach. Some people cap that at 75 because they don't want a bunch of people on the sidelines. But listen, if you work really hard throughout the week, then you should earn the right to dress out and run out on the field and be a part of what we do on game day. I firmly believe that. But if you're not going to play in the game, your job is to be involved emotionally in the game and make sure we're getting it up. I thought we did a better job just being locked in start to finish, and I think that's just the growth from what we saw in the week. And again, we're nowhere near where we want to be or need to be, but it was significantly improved, and I think it all mattered on game day.
Do you think is Braden Atkinson going to start this coming week, or is it another week-to-week situation?
Yeah, listen, again, we predicate all decisions based on player health and what they look like in practice. And, I can confidently say again, we were a bit stagnant on offense. It's not exclusive to the quarterback position, but it's a massive part. And Braden played really well, so I would expect him to continue to move forward.
Any update on Tyrell Ford after his injury on Saturday night?
Yeah, Ty's doing better. I won't get into the specifics, but a little bit more precautionary when they took him off. I appreciate y'all asking, but he's doing significantly better.
And where does that mentality come from of letting everybody dress for games, letting them be a part of that game day atmosphere? Because I'm sure for guys that are not guaranteed a scholarship or
Sure.
walk-ons,
Well, I think I started my career as a walk-on, right? Now it's a little bit different situation for me, but I ended up earning a scholarship, and I think, we work just as hard as those people do during the week, and sometimes it can be deflating to have to participate in the scout team stuff. And so to me, it's the reward, and it's a little bit of that carrot in front of the horse as you go throughout the week. The look that we get from those kids is as important as anything we do schematically, offensive or defensive wise. And so it encourages them to work really hard, and we utilize that because, they do deserve to run out. And I think that's just where it comes from for me.
What do you want to work on? Obviously Paul's here, he said the most, but from seeing what you're seeing on tape from Citadel, what do you want to work on the most this week?
Yeah, again, it goes back to it. Specific to the red zone, we got to work on our surge off the football and just make sure as an offensive lineman, I understand that if that ball's on the 1 inch line, if I move myself into the end zone and I score, there's a good chance our back or ball carrier is going to score. And so just again, we're working on our mindset down in there. There's some execution things that we still need to get cleaned up. And again, that'll come with, we'll continue to put our kids in game-like situations, not necessarily to the ground like we did 2 weeks ago, but there's moments of practice where it'll be scrimmage-like, where again, coaches will be off and they got to think and make the adjustments, and we'll coach off that film, and we'll continue to do that each week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, offense obviously is a big part of what you want to get better at. You don't want the defense saving you every game, but finishing in the red zone is a whole nother animal. So what do you want to do to execute better? Is there something that you're not doing that you want to see executing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I thought I touched on it, but like, again, just the surge. It's a mindset and a mentality. If you're running the ball, passing the ball down there, right? Like, things happen much quicker. It's really operating in a phone booth, so we need to process faster on the goal line, and then we need to be more physical, in my opinion, when we're down in there. And then in terms of the execution, what we can do to help that is just make certain that we get enough reps at it throughout the course of the week to make sure that we've given them enough of the game-like looks.
And road SoCon battle, so what are you seeing from them on tape?
Yeah, again, a really strong special teams unit, a defense that moves around quite a bit and played well against us last year, and then a team that they do a bunch of different stuff offensively. They've been about 70% run, and they present it in different ways, whether it's some versions of option football from the gun, but they're really well coached. They're highly disciplined. They don't make many mistakes. So again, the things that almost got us last week, we got to really work to clean up, because those are what will get you in a close game, consistently.
A really weird schedule for them too, obviously opening up against North Dakota State, and then they beat Sanford by 4 scores, and then lose, I think, by 10 to Gardner Webb. That's like a really strange little few games from there. Like, what are you guys, hoping to, I guess on the road take advantage of and just get yourself prepared for a team that's really challenged themselves?
Yeah, I mean, the game that wasn't the Davis game, I mean, the thing that we have to do, we didn't start fast enough, right? And so, like, I like what we do on the road in terms of how we travel and our timing and those kind of things. But we have to start fast. We have to know that they're not going to beat themselves, because they're really well coached. And, that means we have to be really clean in what we do. We got to work on the technical things, and, whether that means we spend a little bit more time and some individual work this week as well. But really it comes down to the small stuff when you play good teams. You got to eliminate turnovers. You got to eliminate penalties to the best of your ability, really the pre-snap ones, kind of the dumb ones, because we want to play hard, and sometimes you're going to get them that way. And then we got to be rock solid in our special teams.
Coach, what was your biggest takeaway? We've been talking about the technical aspects of the game, but watching this group kind of make that comeback kind of early into the season, what was your biggest takeaway, you think?
I think people, they're a really prideful group, so no one felt like we played our best football in either of the first 2 games. And so, and again, it's kind of all-encompassing. It's the technical side, whether they're missed assignments or lack of execution. It's what we called as coaches, and then there was an energy, right? Like, and I think anybody that was around last year, that there was a palpable energy and a belief that someone was going to make a game breaker. And I mean, we actively talked about it last week in the locker room, and really leading into it, just how important every single rep each day in practice is. And then you have to carry that mindset over into the game, that it really is, and you never know when it's going to be your time. So just placing a huge emphasis on full speed, highly technical reps, as long as we need to get the win.
Anything else for Coach Jacobs?
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, we're gonna go to the offensive side and the defensive side. Let's bring up Micah Bell first, one of our running backs, redshirt junior. I'll let Micah tell you his hometown and where he was at previously. Give us a little opening statement then.
How you guys doing? I'm Micah Bell. I'm from McDonough, Georgia. I'm a redshirt junior running back, and my previous school was UNC Charlotte.
Mike, how did you feel the running game was this week compared to the first couple of weeks of the season?
I thought the running game was really well. We did really good this week. Obviously, we need to work on ball security. Even myself, I had that fumble at the end, but I think we ran the ball well. They blocked well. Our O-line blocked well. Receivers blocked well. So I think we're improving each week.
Are you seeing something different on the field, or is it just kind of get more on the same page as the offensive line, working together with your guys as well? Like, is there something that's changed for you?
I think we're just getting better as a group. Like up front, we're getting better at blocking on the edge. Perimeter, we're getting better. Even running backs blocking. I think when the blocking is better, obviously the run game's gonna be better. So that's basically what's happening.
I think maybe the biggest play of the game catch, from Braden. I mean, how big was that? What was that energy like? Just watching that all go down.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. I got ecstatic for my guy when I saw him catch because we have a joke going on about like a hands chart in the running back room. So seeing him catch that ball, that turned me up. We put him at the top of the hands chart for that one. So yeah, it was great. Seeing a fellow running back balling out, especially catching the ball like that, game-changing moment. So it was fun.
Yeah, I don't mean it to be a sore subject, but who usually has the best hands in the running back room?
I would like to say myself, but nobody else would agree with that. So I say Tyrell Cord. Cord, he has the best hands. He's the most. Yeah.
And then what's next for you guys this week as a group against the Citadel? Coach mentioned they like to run the ball a lot. What are you guys hoping to do and just keep that momentum going on the road?
Yeah, we're just hoping to continue to be who we are. Just continue to run the ball, continue to pass the ball. I think we played a great game offensively. Like you said, we need to finish in the red zone. So just continue to do what we do. Just get better at our job. So.
All right, anything else for Michael? All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it. All right, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Caden Camise, redshirt junior. Caden, give us your hometown and where you previously played. A little opening statement, they'll ask the question.
How's everybody doing? I'm Caden Camise. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and I play defensive tackle. Yeah. I've been here all 4 years, so.
Keaton, what was that atmosphere like down in the trenches? It just seemed like you guys were battling every time you were on the field on Saturday.
It was awesome. I felt like everybody was playing aggressive, playing fast, violent. Like you had Zoc making plays. I feel like everybody was making plays across the line. Even I had a big play, and yeah, it was just awesome to be a part of that.
It felt like in the second half, the energy on the defensive side of the ball just changed. Like every big play there was, whether it was big tackle for loss, a sack, whatever it was, everybody on the sideline was just like going crazy.
Yeah, definitely. It felt like, yeah, we came out of the half. We knew like we still had to finish the game, like everywhere, offensively, defensively, and it was just, like I said, awesome to come out and see everything start to come to fruition and see younger guys making plays, and yeah.
You guys give up 10 quick points out of the halftime break. What's like that adjustment like on the sideline after that happens and just keeping your head in the right place to finish out the game?
Just making sure we're not like falling into I guess like what was going on in the moment, and just having that next play mentality was definitely like a crucial part. I don't know necessarily if any big adjustments were made, just staying level-headed and making sure to play our game.
And with a team that Coach said they run the ball about 70% of the time, how are you guys looking to keep that momentum from this week into Saturday's game against the Citadel?
Yeah, we had like a great 2 weeks of practice prior to this game, which I think was big for that Wofford game, and I think continuing to practice well and stay disciplined, because like Coach said, they're a disciplined team, they're well coached. I think that'll be really important, so yeah.
Being from Omaha and then coming here to Macon, Georgia, how big of that was an adjustment for you 4 years ago, and how are you liking it now after all this time?
The biggest difference was definitely the temperature and the humidity. I think I'm doing a lot better with that now. But yeah, I like Macon. It's been great so far.
Not as many tornadoes here as there
No, not at all. No snow either.
Is the rain worse there, or is it worse here, would you say?
We have rainy days up in Nebraska, but we'll have way more down here, and it'll be like monsoon-like, so definitely down here.
You guys have been obviously the talking point of every game so far this season. So where do you guys think you could improve more?
Definitely execution. Like we could do stuff better, whether it be minute details or just plays in general. And probably fixing MAs. Like every game so far, we've had a few MAs that I think if we get that corrected, like it'll result in a net positive for the defense. So.
Chemistry-wise, what are you guys doing off the field?
Off the field, I feel like, yeah, this is probably like one of the closest groups I've been a part of. Definitely over the course of the summer, a lot of team bonding, hanging out with each other. We were playing chess in the dorm rooms, cards. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of team bonding has been done.
What's the best chess opening and why?
For me, I'd probably say like the London, because it's pretty easy and doesn't allow for a lot of error.
What's your chess elo?
1400 on chess.com.
Pretty good.
Okay, anything spaghetti. We got down to the serious stuff. All right. Appreciate each one of you coming. Of course, again, kickoff's 2 o'clock over at Charleston against the Citadel. And after that trip and win, we'll be back here next week as well. Thanks to each of you for coming. And you guys in the media, help yourself